What is up guys, Wraec is here with a new video and today with a guide for Relentless Rumble. So, we are going to do all 3 Relentless Rumble brawls in this video. I tried to get the best teams for you guys. I'm going to show you guys the best teams. I managed to get place 1 or match place 1 on all of those brawls. We even have 79. Look at this 3 kill distance here to place 2, pretty insane. We managed to match this. The first one, the Brawl one, super high RNG, a little bit annoying. I'm going to show you my top teams and then we're going to talk a little bit about alternatives that you can use, and with that you can also be successful in this. So starting off, Brawl number 1, there's one thing you first need to do before we get into this, because we want to manually cast an ult. If you've never done that, you want to head to your settings, you want to head to battle, and you want to set auto battle to only select heroes. What this does, it will give you a little bit of a cogwheel above a hero where you can click on and it will stop the hero from auto casting the ult. This is what we need. So now let's head into events and let me explain to you which ult we want to cast. This is our team. Our team consists of Smokey, Elijah and Layla. We have Shamira, Tazi and we have Coco. And the ult that we want to manually cast is Smokey's ult. We want to have him cast 2 ults, then we want to stop it. The third ult would activate his true damage. We want to save that up for around 60 kills. Once we are around 60 kills, then we want to trigger it. If you are a little bit on the weaker side, if you maybe swapped some heroes out there, you have to find the optimal position for your Smokey ult. The thing about this is it provides you with a very nice damage boost that is better for the later kills. So once you find out, okay, I'm doing like 40, 50, 60 kills, then you also know when to cast your ult. You want to do it a little bit before the end so that it might push you to get a few more kills than you otherwise would. The thing here is, those enemies have a ton of single target damage. They can, if they all focus on the same hero, they can quickly take out the hero. At around 50 kills, we can expect that some of our heroes may die. We need the attempt where this doesn't happen. And I can't promise you that we can put it in this video. We're going to start off the battle. The thing is, we might get 68 kills even, is possible. Ult number 1. But in this battle, those guys, they can just so quickly take out one of your heroes. So we're going to take what we're going to get. I just want to show you the technique. Very nice. The Tazi skin ultimate animation. Nice that we get to show this in this video. Very, very cool. Ult number 2, and now we are going to click on this little cogwheel so that it stops shining, and now we're going to save up this ult, and we're going to wait till we get more kills, because you see, the first enemies that we defeat here, they are very, very easy to defeat. We're one-shotting them with those skulls, so we don't really need any support from Smokey for this. We much more need the support from Smokey once we reach like the proximity of 60, because we really want to beat the other people. So if we have 58, it's okay for us to cast the Smokey ult. The way we are going to cast it, by the way, I just activate the cogwheel. This is probably the best way to do it. It saves you like the multiple clicks that you otherwise have to do. I just click on the cogwheel. So let's focus. Let's look at the HP bars of our heroes. Still looking pretty good, honestly. 56, 59. Let's just cast it. And now we can just hope that we get through the enemies. And as you know, 67 is our high score. 68 would be a new record. We got to 64, which is very good. They're going to spawn new enemies now. So I'm not very confident we are going to get to 68, 66. We get another ult there. Okay, come on. Shamira ult casting. And there it is. So it could have worked out, honestly. We get the Tazi ult, but Tazi I don't think she can defeat. Maybe she can get us to 67. Nearly. Okay. But this is a great fight still nonetheless, because it pretty much showed all the mechanics that we are going to use. Our main damage dealer really is Shamira. The reason we use Tazi in this, and I saw other attempts with, for example, Thorin as well. The reason I like Tazi is because she can stop the enemies at the end one time from like really casting their ult. In theory, you could like time the ult of her a little bit better if you manually cast it. So if you really want to go for the absolute maximum of kills, I would try to just manually cast an ult around like probably 64 kills. Once you notice, okay, the enemies there are pretty much getting stronger, and they just spawned a few strong enemies, that you then maybe cast another ult to get you maybe those 1, 2, 3 kills. But I kept her on just auto ult casting, just manually cast the Smokey ult, which is a very new technique that I saw really the first time in this wonderful Relentless Rumble, and I think is very, very cool. And I think that is the most important part. So this team works fairly well. I can show it to you one more time. So, if you don't have those heroes, this is the setup that we used in the video. Well, you can of course do different things. One other option that I can show you for this If you have twins, you can of course use them, but we can go for a very simple iron comp. I would just do something like this. Maybe if you have at a siren and as a last hero, either I would go for Roan, which would work for this. Just a Roan, add it into here, add it into the team probably behind those two, so just that you get to feed the siren a little bit, that you get to feed the twins and maybe the iron, depending on where the enemies end up. And then if you want to just go for more damage, another option is to use Pheromore. This would of course be very nicely combined with the siren. We have some very good damage, and this would work, for example, as well, and is another way to just do this. You can also go for Talene, of course. And the other thing is, if you don't have the twins, I know some people don't have them yet, instead of twins, just put Roan into the team, that you have a little bit more energy feed, and this will work out for you as well. So this is an option. And other than that, I mean, if you build a team around Talene, this will work perfectly fine as well. You can use her instead of Chimera, and pretty much she will have the same use. So for that you can use like the Chimera based teams, and this is probably a very easy way to get through this. If you still need help, the Yapala Discord, there's also a link down in the description, offers a lot of advice on this. Their channel is a little bit hidden, I have to admit this. It is in Ja PvE, this section, and they're under battle mode events, so that is another thing to note. So back to Brawl number 2. For Brawl number 2, we're fighting Carolina, a little bit more of a known hero, rather annoying still. 1000 initial energy increase here for every third one that appears. We have a super high kill count on this, and the ult, of course, we know it freezes an enemy, is rather annoying, inflicts frostbite, so she can deal a ton of damage as well. The tactic, nonetheless, is very similar to Brawl 1. The only thing that is very special that I found very cool, people on the Yapala Discord, they used Citrana here, which I really like, which I think is very cool, to tank up a ton of damage from her. We have the very nice synergy here that we have Smokey, we have Coco, and together with twins, this gives us a 4-piece faction bonus, which is very nice and worked very well. We use the same strategy here with the Smokey that we used on Brawl 1, meaning we want to have him cast the first 2 ults, and then we want to stop him by deactivating his auto ult casting, and then we want to wait as much as possible. I think I waited for like 65 or something, 64 on my 79 kill attempt, so that is something we want to look at. And then we have the same combination here with Chimera, with the twins. That is really the same here, which is rather interesting. No Tazi on this one, mostly because we get to still kill the enemies rather quickly. On the first one, it was rather important to stop the enemies at one point, to kind of keep them from just instantly defeating us and give us the time to defeat them. So that is really important. Second ult done, meaning we remove the cogwheel now to stop him from ult casting, and now we are going to wait. I reckon for this video 63 is going to be a good point. 63 is going to be a good point. That should probably be a decent place for us to position the smoke yoke. We have to keep an eye on the HP. It's very similar to the first fight. Sometimes our heroes vanish, but in comparison, they do so a little bit later. It's not like on 54 that I am very afraid of just instantly dying, but you saw Coco's HP getting a little bit down. 61, 62, let's do it. There we have the 63, 64, 65, I think 73 is like place 2 already on my server, so on my district. So if we get like a 74, that would have already been place 1. A 77, that would have already been place 1. But we lost our Chimera on this attempt. We got a 73. I guess a 73, that is fairly decent. You can imagine that with a bit more RNG, we would probably end up on a place 1. So that is pretty cool. Let's take a look at the team. So this is the team that we just used. Very important for this one, it's just like a little bit of tankiness in the team. We have this with Citrana, which is optimal, minus just Supreme Plus, so not super highly upgraded. Again, we have the same combination of twins with Chimera. If you don't own Chimera, it is possible to use Talene. On this one, the problem with Talene is a little bit that Talene is a channeled ult caster. That means she can be interrupted and then has to recover to full energy again before she can cast her ult. Chimera's ult, despite looking like that and kind of providing continuous damage, is not channeled. It is a single target cast ult that summons those skulls, and those skulls do the damage. So she is much less vulnerable to actually having ult interruption effects on her, like a freeze that could be inflicted on her by an ult from Carolina. So the Talene will probably be a lot worse on this one, which is why I would probably, in case you just can't build this team, would resort to an Iron team once again. You can kind of use the same as we built before. I would include a little bit of tankiness there. You can, of course, just go ahead and experiment a little bit with something like this, but just putting Ulmus, but just putting Iron. I like the idea of Pheromore. You can, as long as you can keep the enemies kind of together. Pheromore is a very, very strong damage dealer. You can put those two together. This is very, very cool. Rowan works for this. And maybe if you want, either go for damage or tankiness. You have to see, depending on your advancement of your heroes, how well this works. You can go for Arden, or what you can do, and what is also possible, especially here, is to just go like for Coco, get a little bit of extra support through that, or maybe get a little bit of heal from Smokey. Those are options that you kind of can explore and can look how it works for you, depending on the advancement or the ascension state on your heroes. So that is something to note here as well. But this is going to work and is going to be fairly possible. Okay, for Brawl number 3, we want to take a look at the enemies first, because this is very important to understand it. Blade's Wrath increases the attack of every third enemy that appears by 50%, and especially one more tip maybe for Relentless Rumble, when you kind of just go into it without checking lineups, always check the abilities as well, because, well, for this guy, of course, he's immune to physical damage. You wouldn't want to use that against him. This guy hides it in his abilities. In his abilities, on the third ability, takes 25% less damage, becomes unaffected, deals 80% magic damage to enemies who attempt to inflict control effects. So these rather immune to actually Iron teams. Doesn't work that well. He has a little bit of CC. Pretty fierce damage overall, so that is rather annoying, and thus our team looks a little bit like this. Actually, no Smokey this time, no manual ult casting. This pretty much just worked for me. We are still using actually Chimera, which I think is fairly interesting. Chimera this time supported by Wraec. They have a little bit of synergy. Wraec can just finish off the enemies, while Chimera deals very high continuous damage to all of them through the skulls, so that works really well. We have Sonya to buff them, and Coco for a little bit of extra support, buffing the Sonya with Lightforge spell for higher buffs on both of those guys. So, and as always, if you don't have Wraec, Seth works. So that is something to note. Actually, not even bad on this one. And not even bad on this one, I have to say. If you use Seth, because, well, we have the 3-piece bonus, but we still have the same 3-piece bonus, the rehero bonus, if you use Seth on this, so this is going to work. You can just manually, just automatically let this run through. And I think, I haven't checked this actually, but they should be immune to CC effects as well. I didn't really say that there. Usually Dead Tide Fleet is immune to CC effects. But they are unaffected. It says they become unaffected. I assume they mean the entire time. But usually with those bubbles they have this. So you can see Chimera putting out high damage, Wraec pretty easy time at getting his buffs. And what I noticed on this team is a little bit weird. You kind of get to this point where your heroes are just dead, and then you have to hope that Chimera did enough damage to the enemies that Wraec can finish them. And that is really how you get the last 5 kills, it seems like. At around 60 this team just fails. And then you kind of have to hope that Wraec does his job and just like finishes the rest of the enemies off, which he can do fairly well. But if there's too much HP left on those guys, well, then he struggles a little bit. Chimera is really used to get a little bit further into the enemies than you would otherwise get, so that is pretty insane. But to me, the thing is really how insane it is that Chimera really made it into all of those teams. That Chimera really went ahead and completely replaced Talene. This is something that we really didn't talk about. 62, not the best. Good enough, I guess. I mean, we already had place 1 on this one. This is really the same team, and it's an auto-cast team, so you just run this as often as possible and try to get as many kills as you can. So, I'm still a bit unhappy, I have to say, with this Brawl 1, because it's just the optic, you know. I mean, it's a good score, but the optic is really seeing me on place 3. I don't like it. So, let's take a look at the team. Team number 3, that is how it looks. Not that much different actually to the other ones. We had a pretty constant Chimera Twins Coco supply in our teams, just €2 here that changed. I mean, if you have Twins and Chimera, you're probably good on all of this, honestly. If you don't, well, on this one, you really want to make sure to not use CC heroes. That is really not worth it. So an option that we have and that we can use looks like this. So this worked for me pretty well. We have Shark here. Plus 10, you really would want him. Otherwise, another option that I saw actually on El Viaje de Fred, which I probably horribly mispronounced, was using this team like this with the Lily May, and he also put he used Shark here there, but I adapted this team a little bit and used Seth. So there's something that you can do. Otherwise, also shout out to El Viaje de Fred. He is on Twitter. He also is on YouTube, and he makes graphics for like all of this. I can link you his channel down below, a little bit of a shout out there, and you will find that he has very great information for those Relentless Rumbles. So something like this can definitely work. Personally, as I said, I prefer this with the Shark here. You get very nice buffs. You have a very nice melee team overall with the buffs from the Sonya on both of those, with the overall buff from Shark here, and then you have the melee damage and the scaling from the Seth, which works really well. Pheromone can be used on this as well, which is another option. Pheromone in general is just very high damage, so this is pretty cool. If you have Chimera, of course, make use of her, will be probably for the best. So with that being said, there are two more things that I want to cover. First of all, I will of course link you those 3 teams down below. Those were the 3 teams that got me my biggest scores, the ones that we just saw. All of those will be linked down below so that you can easily copy them through the code over here. You can then add them by ID in your own formations lineup, which you can find up here on the hero screen, and that will help you to just quickly clear those and get the biggest scores. But I want to warn you in advance, it will take a few attempts this time. It is a heavy RNG Relentless Rumble to get the place 1, but for all of the loot, I mean, you need way less kills, so that should be easy. And then lastly, shout out to Lootbar, my sponsor of this video. Lootbar is a great site if you want to buy some Dragon Crystals. You can get Dragon Crystals a little bit cheaper here. They offer 2 ways to top up Dragon Crystals. First, direct top up, where those crystals just appear directly on your account. You just type in your account ID, you pay, they pop up in game. Works very well. And the other one is a little bit cheaper, the lock-in top up, where they lock into your account, buy them there, and it's a little bit cheaper. Those sites are fairly common. Lootbar, in my experience, is just a great site, very high comfort, very very well done site overall. Also, they spawned the video. If you go through the link down in the description, you get a 10% discount coupon at the moment, which is a promotion they have running, and you get a 3% discount coupon on top of that, so you can get the first Dragon Crystals even cheaper. So thank you to Lootbar for that, and thank you for everybody who is supporting this channel through the link down in the description. With that, I hope that my teams helped you succeed in this Relentless Rumble. If they did, or if they didn't, tell me down below in the comments. And with that, I wish you a great day, and we'll see us in the next one.